the question that everyone asks in different ways. How can I have a connection to Hashem? How could I cause that my overtures to Hashem are responded with happiness, with warmth? Hashem is happy to hear from me. That I feel a shefa ruchni, I feel spiritual, I feel nourished, I feel alive in my Judaism, I feel connected. How can I get there? How can I have this, the connection to Hashem in a way that I want a connection, a way that I'm animated by it? Right? So the truth is that the angels, and this is the Torah portion, we read about how angels were very surprised about our connection to Hashem. And their question tells us a lot about what we have. This week, we read about the blessing that the Kohanim blessed the Jewish people with. It's a very unique blessing. So unique that when this blessing is issued, we cover our eyes because the divine presence rests on the Kohanim when they're giving the blessing. The same blessing that a bride and groom are given at the wedding, under the chuppah. It's a blessing that parents bless their children with. It's a very powerful blessing. Every morning, once we see the blessing for the Torah, we bless Hashem, thanking Hashem for the Torah, you have to say words of Torah. Which words of Torah were chosen of all the words of Torah? The blessing of the Kohanim. You start your day blessing every single Jew. May God bless you and protect you. May God shine His face upon you and do kindness to you. Yis Hashem panav elecha. May God show favor to you. So the angels were wondering about the words, show favor to you, which means favoritism, which means not to be impartial, to be partial to us. The angels are wondering, how come you, God, are partial to the Jewish people? How come you respond to them differently? How come they mean so much to you? Don't you write in your Torah that you are a God who does not take bribery? You are a God of truth. What are you talking about that you're a God of truth? It says in your Torah that Yisa Hashem panav elecha, that God shows favor to the Jewish people. What does that mean? So, what's your response? What does God answer? God says, how can I not show favor to the Jewish people? I told them in my Torah that when they eat, they should thank me. They should say a blessing. But I only told them to say the blessing when they're full. And they say a blessing, even if they only eat a kazayas, a kaveya, even if they only eat an ounce or two, they're already saying a blessing. So God says, how can I not show favoritism? But that has to be understood. What exactly does God mean? First of all, there are many things that we do that we're not obligated to do from Torah law. There are many rabbinical laws. Just now, you wash your hands before you had the burger. You wash your hands, that's a rabbinical law. It doesn't say in the Torah you have to wash your hands. It's a rabbinical law. The Torah says, in order that when a Kohen, when Mashiach will come, will be used to washing his hands to eat the trumah, to eat the special thing that's allocated to the Kohen. Therefore, all the Jewish people, whenever they have a sandwich for 2,000 years, they should be ready for Mashiach, and therefore we wash our hands. Isn't that amazing? I think that's amazing. We're doing this, it's not a commandment, we're doing this just to prepare for Mashiach, so when a Kohen is ready, Mashiach will come, will have the special gift of the trumah, he should be ready. There are many other things we do that are not muktzah on Shabbos. On Shabbos, not only now to work on Shabbos, you're not to touch anything that has any connection to something that's forbidden on Shabbos. Don't touch it. It also shows something special. Why is this the thing that highlights how beloved we are to Hashem? Hashem, so to speak, he can't hold himself in. He has to show favoritism to us because of this. Why is this unique? And also, it doesn't even seem to be a good thing. Why? Because you're not supposed to say a blessing when you don't need to say a blessing. There's an argument between Maimonides and Tosfos. What exactly is the violation when you say a blessing that's not needed? What exactly are you violating? According to Maimonides, it's a bracha v'atol. But what is a bracha v'atol? According to Maimonides, it's a biblical prohibition. Saying a bracha in vain, saying a bracha when you don't need to, is a biblical prohibition. According to Tosfos, it's not a biblical prohibition, it's a rabbinical prohibition. There's a difference between them. Let's say you make a bracha, you make a blessing for a cup of water on a fast day. It was the 10th of Tevet, and you made a bracha shahakol, and you realize, oh, it's the 10th of Tevet, what do you do now? So do you eat, drink, or not? If you don't drink, it's a blessing in vain. So some say you should drink a little bit, not so simple. But here the Torah is saying, You know why Hashem loves us so much? You know why we have such favor in the eyes of God? Because we say a blessing when we don't need to. Whoa! How to say a blessing when we don't need to? So what's the special favoritism we have because we say a blessing we don't need to? You're not supposed to say a blessing we don't need to. What does that mean? And also, if you look at the words of the Talmud says, Midaktakim al atzmam. They're careful on themselves. Why does it add the word on themselves? Huh? Yeah. Why is it Midaktakim al atzmam? They're careful on themselves. What does that mean? They're careful. The answer is this. The Yid HaKadosh, Reb Simcha Bunim HaPshish, he explains this. He says, the reason why a Jew blesses Hashem for even a kazayis, doing a kaveya, is not because he's not full. It's because he is full. Why is he full? He's full because he realizes he receives something from Hashem. Because he realizes not what he has, but who gave it to him, that fills his heart. That makes him satisfied. That animates him. It's a very powerful idea. There was this woman, named Lenore Bat David, just got married. She was 25 years old, and she lost her wedding ring. And so they looked through the wedding hall for a wedding ring. They couldn't find it, and they figured it must have gone into the garbage. So they went into the garbage, but the problem was the garbage was already taken. So they went to Tel Aviv, Nikayon. They went to the where all the garbage bags are, where the garbage bags were just dumped. And I kid you not, the whole garbage collection people and the groom and the bride and all the entourage were sifting through the garbage, and after a couple of hours they found the ring.
Similar story, but
In your family?
no. Similar story, but the guy, he had Bitcoin on his hard disk.
The what?
Bitcoin.
A Bitcoin.
800,000 Bitcoin he had.
Yeah.
And his wife, she revenged on him. She threw it in the garbage, and then he's battling the UK, London municipality, years to go and clean up to see if he can find his hard disk over there.
You found it? You didn't find it. It's not a kind of thing
They
you
told him, forget it.
Right.
Don't come anymore.
We had two guests in our house on Shavuot. Each of them said that they found a diamond in the sand. It happens.
Really?
Yeah. And they made me pay attention to sand, but it doesn't happen every day. But here it wasn't the question of the value of the ring. It was that this was the ring she got for a wedding. And that's why it was special. And it's not that we have so much pleasure from the food. It's a pleasure we have from our connection to Hashem, realizing that Hashem gave it to us. Hashem takes care of us individually and personally. Hashem gives everyone with their specific thing that they need. And everyone's different. I don't know if you want to relate to this or not, but this is what happened to me. I went to New York last week, and I'm not so good at coming on time to the airport, but this time I'm on time. My boarding pass in my phone, and it's easy to remember gate number. I can't mess it up. It's gate number 1. How many gate number 1s are there? It's very easy, right? Gate number 1. You can't mess that up. Well, it turns out gate number 1 is a little far out, but still, I'm well ahead of the time for departure. I come to gate number 1. There's nobody there. I asked someone, what happened? They said, oh, the flight's delayed. It didn't make sense because there was no one there. I checked the screen. Gate number 33. Gate number 33. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's JFK, an American. So I'm running as fast as I can. I'm trying to pace myself so I could breathe, and I'm running, and I just made it on the exact moment I could. As I closing the door. Wow. Yeah. So it made me feel like, okay, this fits in with my genre of divine providence. Some people they need to be on time. It's like, well, they need to be rushing like crazy. So I got that. Another interesting thing happened in the flight. I send out a podcast of Chassidus every day. So I didn't have a chance to record my class because I was running. I thought I'll record it before I go on the flight. I was thinking, I'm going to sit in the flight and just record into my phone. I'll be so weird. And sure enough, by divine providence, Hashem put someone next to me on the flight who wanted to learn more and more Chassidus. Who wanted to. It's not so.
Jewish person?
Yeah, another Chassid. Yeah.
Why do you say it like that?
I don't know if I should say his name on these, or it's going to be recorded. I don't know if he wants to.
But another chassid, okay.
Another chassid, out of nowhere. Anyways, so that's divine providence. Divine providence means that Hashem doesn't just give people what people need. Hashem gives you what you need, and you're different than everybody else. And that's the reason why the Jewish people enjoy the little bit of bread they get from Hashem, and they're full from it. Nachtam Sofer says this: you only are obligated biblically to make a blessing on food when you're satiated by it. But what if you're satiated because of who gave it to you? What if you're satiated, like we know about Rav Nachman Chernobyl, that when he said Yehei Rabbi, he was full of such pleasure that his body became fat because of the pleasure he had by saying Yehei Rabbi. Happened to me also, you could tell, right? Anyways, so that, according to Chassam Sefer, you could say you're biblically obligated to say the blessing because you are satiated. It doesn't matter why you're satiated. Or, according to the Rambam, you know why Moshe Rabbeinu was able to stay on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights without eating? Why? The Rambam says he was so into the pleasure of being with Hashem, he didn't need to eat. So this is the meaning of the bracha that we say when we have just a bit of bread. The meaning of the blessing is not you're thanking Hashem because of your body being satisfied. You're thanking Hashem because your neshama is also satisfied. You're satisfied. Why are you satisfied? Because you realize who gave it to you. There was a guy, a wealthy man, who unfortunately lost his wife, and he hired this professional cook. And he said to this professional cook that, his wife was an excellent cook, and he misses his wife, he wants to have food like he used to have. So she tried all kinds of cuisines: Indian, Chinese, Italian. The guy's not happy. No, it's not like my wife. I mean, it's nice, but it's not the way my wife made food. One day, she was making food for him, and she realized that she forgot to turn off the oven. It's burnt, and I'm so sorry. I'll remake it. It's okay. She gives it to him. Oh, just like my wife made. Burnt. So what was he looking for? What was he looking for? He wasn't looking for the taste in the food. He was looking for the connection. And that's why Hashem shows favoritism to us. Because we show favoritism to Hashem. That, in other words, that we show that we are gratitude, and we are so appreciative. Not because of what we receive, but because of who gave it to us, and we realize Hashem gave it to us, and we feel, let's just say, a bracha is a very deep thing. The Alter Rebbe said that everyone wants to know how to strengthen their faith in Hashem. The Alter Rebbe says the way to strengthen your faith in Hashem is by saying a bracha of kavar. Say a bracha with the right intent. That's how you strengthen your emunah. I think that's why the Persians have a lot of emunah. You see, they say brachas. They say a lot of brachas. A lot of baruch. We don't. It's hard for us. We have to slow down. But Persians are very good. They have a lot of emunah. Baruch atah Hashem kol niya bevaro. They get into it. So Alter Rebbe says that's a skula, a way to open your heart to believe in Hashem is say a bracha with the right intent. So this is the meaning why Hashem shows favoritism to us. This all helps us understand something else. This is about Yaakov Avinu. Famously, when Yaakov was being pursued by his brother Esav, Yaakov makes his prayer to Hashem, and he says to Hashem, I crossed the Jordan only with my staff, and now Hashem has blessed me with 2 camps. Save me from my brother from Esav. Oh, Shalom Aleichem. Achos zarai nishtot. I'm a chaya. Come here.
I want to disrupt
you. You just gave a lot of chayas. Welcome back. Wow. From the plane to the shir. Daniel, this is class. This is not just class, this is a class ski. Baruch Hashem. You want to say a bracha? We have some kosher ones here. Okay. So Yaakov Avinu, he said, thank you Hashem for all the kindness you gave me. That now when I crossed the Jordan, I crossed it with the staff, and now I have 2 camps. So the Alter Rebbe has a beautiful explanation of this. The Alter Rebbe says the word Yaakov used were, I am small because of your kindness. The simple meaning of what Yaakov was saying was, I'm unworthy of your kindness. I don't think this is really going to happen. I don't believe that you're really going to save me. I don't think that I deserve it. And though Hashem promised Yaakov that he would save him, Yaakov's thinking it's not going to happen. That's hard to understand, because Yaakov is a tzaddik. Hashem said to him something. You should believe it. So the Alter Rebbe says that what Yaakov was feeling was, because of Hashem's kindness, he was feeling small. It wasn't that he felt he used up all of his merits. It wasn't, Nismatu zuchuyese. Rashi says, my merits have gotten smaller because I've used them all up. I have so much blessing, I have nothing left. The Alter Rebbe says, the kindness Hashem gave Yaakov made Yaakov small. What does that mean? Usually, when people receive something, that makes their ego, makes them feel strong, it makes them feel wise. Because if you're rich, they think you really know, right? If you think, if you are blessed with something, you feel stronger, you feel bigger, you feel more confident, you feel you have the right opinion. You're the one who's going to venture your opinion because you've been blessed and you think you've got something. That's what abundance sometimes does to a person. It makes them feel stronger and bigger, and in general, that it causes our chava. It causes a sense of emboldenment, of courage, and in a negative way. It emboldens the ego.
In a negative way.
In a negative way. And why? So although we're talking about people who are very, very religious, they say thank you to Hashem. They say Hashem gave it to me. But the way they say thank you to Hashem is sort of like they would say thank you to any other person. In other words, if any other person would give this to me, I would say thank you too. It happens to be Hashem gave it to me. So I'm going to say thank you to Him. So it's not that they are really in touch with what is going on. Let me say it this way. Yankel went to a rabbi. He says, Rabbi, I'm not doing so well financially. What do you say I should do? The rabbi says, you know what you got to do, Yankel? You got to sell sandwiches. Fantastic. So Yankel gets these egg sandwiches and tuna sandwiches, and he stands outside Empire State Building with his box in December, and people are walking by, $5 a sandwich, and Yankel, it's working. One guy walks by, he's standing over here, it's so cold. He says, I'm selling sandwiches. How much are the sandwiches? $5. Okay, here's $5. And where's your sandwich? I don't need a sandwich. And every day this guy comes by and gives him $5. This guy's coming by every single day for 2 months. After 2 months, he comes by again, he puts the $5 in, and he walks away. He says, oh, wait. I said, I told you I don't need a sandwich. He says, yeah, but the price has gone up. It's $8 a sandwich now. So what happened to Yankel was not in touch with what's really going on. What makes a person feel like Yankel is that they look at the kindness of Hashem and they feel Hashem is a means to an end. In other words, there is this great ATM machine. It's called Hashem. And He is here to serve me. I feel bigger. He's giving it to me. I know He's giving it to me. I'm saying thank you. But He is here for me. I'm the center. That's what kindness, sometimes, the kindness could happen. That's what happens to you. But what does it say in Tanya? What's the perspective of Yaakov on kindness? What's the Jewish perspective on kindness? What does the Alter Rebbe say? The Alter Rebbe says that kindness is a hug from Hashem. What does that mean? Imagine, my son was just now in Niagara Falls for Yontif, and when you see a mountain far away, it looks small, you get closer and closer, you're awed of the majesty. My son is a kind of guy who is more stoic. He's like, everything people say is a big deal. He's like, it's not a big deal. But this one is like, this is not a big deal. It's a big deal. I don't know why I never saw pictures like this, but it's like, I saw the pictures. It's like mind-boggling. You were there. It's amazing. So you meet someone who's very smart. You meet a sage. You feel in awe. You feel humble because you know they're so much smarter than you. You meet a tzaddik. You feel low. You feel small. You feel like nothing in their eyes. Why? Because you feel their greatness. So you think about the greatness of Hashem a little bit. You think about, for example, the diameter of the world, of the known universe, is 93 billion light years. A light second is 186,000 miles. A light year is who knows how big, and multiplied by 60, and then there's the 93 billion light years. We don't have any understanding of what that is. And so when Yaakov is feeling kindness of Hashem, Yaakov is feeling a hug from Hashem. He's feeling Hashem's closeness. So when you feel Hashem's kindness to you, what happens to you is you feel small. Not that you feel that you're not relevant. You feel you were chosen. You feel that Hashem is becoming closer to you. And the more you feel closer to Hashem, the more you feel insignificant. Not insignificant in the sense that you feel it all depends on Hashem. But He gave it to you. There was a guy who went to shecht animals in Mexico. In the airport, he meets somebody, he asks him, he wants to put on tefillin. The guy is a very, not into this stuff. And he's like, nah, I don't want to put on tefillin, leave me alone. And he says, they struck up a conversation. He says, what do you do? He tells him he has his factory. He has 2,000 employees. Not bad, right? So he says to him, tell me, you went to school? He says, yes. I had 100 people in my graduating class in college, all right? And where were you in this graduating class? Were you in the top of the graduating class? Not the top, the middle. Not the bottom of the middle, but the top of the middle. All right? And who else in your class has made it financially like you? He thinks of us. Nobody. Nobody's going to. So this chassid says to him, so why do you think you were chosen? The words sunk into him. He says, please bring me the film. He puts it in the film. He opens up his heart. He realized something. He realized it wasn't because he's so smart. He knows he was chosen. So that's the kindness of Yaakov. How Yaakov experiences kindness. He feels kindness as Hashem is bringing me close to him. When you feel Hashem's hug, Hashem is bringing you close, you feel katonti. You feel. There was. I remember a few years ago, the 3 boys who were killed. Their mother really loved the song on the word katonti, and she told the author of the song, she lost her son. She said, all I want to say to Hashem is katontim kolachsan. That she felt the katonti that she had merited to have the son for X amount of years. So this helps us understand something else. Yaakov Avinu, he says, I crossed the Jordan with my staff. What's a pshat with his staff? The simple meaning is, all he had was a staff. What's the other meaning? He took the staff, he put it in the Jordan, and the Jordan split. So the Rebbe says they're connected to each other. Because Yaakov felt that all he has comes from Hashem, that empowers him. That's a real power. It's a real strength. There is a strength of ego. That's not real strength. That's weakness. The real strength is feeling that Hashem is going with you. Hashem is holding your hand. And because Yaakov felt that he has nothing, and all he has because Hashem is going with him, that's why Yaakov was a conduit to make this incredible miracle. He puts a staff in the river, and this river splits. This is the meaning of the teaching of the Talmud. Baruch, you have a mazel. You come at the end. You get the smetana. You get the dessert of the class.
It's not the end because there's always 5 more minutes.
This is where you reached it. It says in the Talmud, Hashem says to each of us, "Open up for me like the opening of a needle, and I'll open up for you like the opening of the ulam of the temple, which had no doors. Opening which is everlasting, and opening which is huge." So the Chassidic masters say, why does it say the opening of a needle specifically? Say a small opening. Why a needle? And so the answer is that a needle, although it's small, but when you're pricked with a needle, it goes all the way in. It hurts. So in a similar way, Hashem says, open up for me in a way that you really feel me. You really feel me. It may be a small opening, but open up in a way that you really experience. That you're really feeling Hashem's presence. You're really feeling the connection with Hashem. So this is the blessing. Hashem blessed us this week. We specifically say the blessing of Kainim this week. You know why this week, Baruch? Why this week the blessing of Kainim? I'll tell you why. Because the key to all the blessings of Hashem is by accepting the Torah. That's the key to all of God's blessings. Therefore, this Torah portion, which is right after giving the Torah, was chosen. And therefore we receive these incredible blessings of Kainim in this parasha. So the what's the unique blessing of the Kainim? One element of it is Hashem shows favor to us. And again, the Talmud says, why does Hashem show favor to us? Because we make a blessing even unannounced. What does that mean? The idea of saying a blessing to Hashem is not just saying words. It's that you feel a real appreciation, your connection to Hashem. Hashem is giving you. Hashem is holding your hand. Hashem is helping you. When you feel that it doesn't, even what Hashem is giving you is not a lot, but you feel that Hashem is holding your hand, and you appreciate that, and that fills you with love, and you feel closeness. So Hashem says, therefore, your minimal contribution to me, the davening, whatever it was, the learning, the tzedakah, whatever you're doing, because our appreciation is of who is giving to us, we feel Hashem is giving to us, and we appreciate the one who's giving to us. Therefore, Hashem also appreciates us as well. That also brings out Hashem's appreciation for whatever we're doing. Because we appreciate Him and we're satisfied, but because the blessing Hashem gives us, that causes in turn also that the little things we do have a big impact, a major impact. And this is what the Rambam says. The Rambam tells us that one good thought, one good word, one good action, tip the scuming Mashiach. Why is it so valuable? So valuable because of our appreciation of what Hashem gives us. Therefore, what we give to Hashem is also taken by Hashem. He is in a way of favoritism beyond what it would seem. This kind of action would warrant a kind of divine response. But because we appreciate Him, therefore He appreciates us. And this is the key to bring down the the divine blessing, to feel kindness. People think that the way to bring down Hashem's kindness is to be dissatisfied. A guy was telling me this morning, the cup is half full, the cup is half empty. Isn't important to know the cup is half full. That's what he was saying. I told him, you know what Hasidim do? What do Hasidim do? Hasidim take the cup that's half full, they pour into a smaller cup till it's overflowing. So the cup is overflowing. What's the pshat? He said, no, but you have to have a bigger cup. You need a bigger cup. It's true you need a bigger cup. But the way to get a bigger cup is by overflowing the smaller cup. I said, I'll spell it out. I don't want to sound like Confucius. What I'm trying to say is that when you feel overflowing, when you feel that Hashem is giving you a lot, that you're able to walk and talk and see and move, and you feel all those blessings, and you appreciate them, and you really do, and not just you say, but imagine before we died, imagine if we did that. We thought that I'm an usher, I'm rich. What the Hebrew word for usher? Usher stands for einayim, shinayim, edayim, reglayim. I have eyes and teeth and mouth and feet, and if I felt that, if I thought about that, so then my cup is overflowing. I'm now open to a bigger cup. Now Hashem gives more. When Hashem sees a Jew full of happiness, what does it say about Naphtali? Naphtali svar rotzen umoli birchat Hashem. Naphtali was satisfied and was full of blessings of Hashem. When a Jew feels that Hashem is giving him, Hashem is holding his hand, he's not walking by himself, that's what makes him moli birchas havai. L'chaim, l'chaim. We should feel taka svar rotzen, moli birchas Hashem, l'chaim, imov shabi, m'shana mok, m'shana mazel, l'tevel, l'vach, asher s'ruchas, l'chaim, l'racham.